Welcome to the Dead Bedroom Revival Podcast. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm very, very excited to be making this episode. The reason why is because I was asked the question, can I fix this relationship by myself? And this was the man asking me because he doesn't seem to want to fix it, or at least we talk about it, we come to an understanding, and then after a week of trying, it sort of falls away. And I said, a large chunk of it, when you're fixing it, you have to take responsibility for it. And the other thing is that you have to also consider that that person might not see it as a problem. So if it's a sexless relationship, she might not see the fact that you're not having sex as a major issue. In terms of contribution to the relationship, she might find a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment as being a really good mom, as being a really good wife, so getting the house clean and cooking, and she takes there's certain things that she takes pride and takes a lot of fulfillment from the relationship. So when it comes to sex, it isn't that much of a big deal. And if you think about her conditioning in terms of how she views sex, it's been a very terrible schooling over the period of life. So from the age she was 3-4 years old, everything that's to do with sex has always been shame associated with it. So sex is sort of in the background when it comes to a relationship standpoint. So I was thinking this, and I said there's certain things that become triggers for her and things that you can do that end up becoming triggers. And one of those things is actually being happy with yourself. I think most times when you're in that situation where you're being rejected, it's quite easy to fall into a sort of depressive state. So you're really taking this on to yourself that you're not having sex because it's you. Maybe you've put on weight. Maybe it's the fact that you just get into this downward spiral where you've got this negativity surrounding you. And usually that is a passion killer. And even if you're trying to start things, it doesn't start things very well. And even if sex is at the back burner for her, it will definitely not bring it to the forefront if you're feeling depressed and feeling negative and you're speaking in a negative term. And you're also having this sort of mindset of she's doing this to get at you. And I think I've spoken to quite a lot of guys who seem to believe that their wife is doing this on purpose. She's not doing it on purpose. She's been programmed not to she loves sex, but the way she views it is being distorted by many, many years of conditioning, and it's something that takes time to actually overcome. And there's certain ways of overcoming this. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to www.deadrevival.com, and we'll be able to teach you on the ways you can actually start showing her that and making her to prioritize sex within the relationship. So it's one of those very important things when it comes to trying to resolve this. Can somebody resolve it by themselves? Yes. The first thing that you do is that within the relationship, most people, they want to come and give 50-50, but it's not 50-50. You have to come and give 100%. And in order for you to give 100%, that means you have to be 45 and strong and really in the zone. And what I mean by that is that your mental health, you have to start taking priority to that. And there's certain ways of doing that. And one of the ones I do for myself is train. And so I train daily. And before, I wanted to train so I can have a six-pack and everything. But now I actually train in order to keep my head strong. So I push myself in ways where my body is uncomfortable, and me overcoming those things actually creates real good chemical feelings within my brain. So there's quite a lot of feel-good chemicals that are released that make me feel happy about myself, but also builds confidence in myself, and therefore it really gives me a very good outlook on life. And whenever I do the training and make good decisions in terms of training, it also falls back into the diet that I have. So it helps me, the fact that I'm training, it helps me to be focused on my diet. And what you eat affects the way you feel. So if you eat a lot of rubbish, usually you start feeling tired. Therefore, even if you're trying to initiate sex, it comes off from a place of really, really tired. Like, it's really just half-hearted attempts of trying to initiate sex, which is, again, it shows her that it's not that valuable again. So again, there's certain things that you can do, and this all comes back to like how you treat yourself. So, and again, mentally, you have to be how you talk about yourself and how you have that self-dialogue. That is another important part. So if you're talking to yourself and you're talking about yourself as in you're a loser, it's not worth living. And I better touch on this as well, that if you're in a depressive state and you feel like, the world is on top of you and there's no way out, please speak to somebody. Please go to places like betterhelp.com. I think it's betterhelp.com. You'll be able to get somebody to speak to you. If you're in the UK, there's organizations with people you can speak to. And I'm saying this because there's a time when I got into a depressive state and I found myself actually planning how I was going to end my life. And it's one of those things that it's partially I was blaming the sexless marriage, partially I was feeling unsuccessful. I was feeling there's just so many things that were contributing to that. I put on so much weight, and all of that was just bad habits that I was doing within my life that were affecting my life, and therefore affecting my relationship, affecting the sex, and affecting me as a parent. But the things before I used to complain and talk about it and then expect the other person to do stuff in order to change it, I actually realized that if I take charge of my life and if I take charge of the way I want to live, things actually start changing. So, and it's been exactly what has happened. When I started training, I started focusing on my diet. And now when I mean diet, I mean I'm eating in order to lose weight, but I do not watch it to the point where I'm completely strict. And that's what I now eat so I can have a strong frame of mind. So even I don't see it as a diet anymore. I just see it as a lifestyle, because I know that it all piles on each other. It all works together. So if you think about it, the way I diet and the way I train helps me to have more energy. It means that I'm more productive, and it's got this sort of flywheel sort of effect that when I do these certain things, I get into a good momentum, and as when I have that good momentum, then I'm irresistible, because she's now trying to seduce me all the time. And there's even times when I've sort of backed out from a real seduction, like, oh, you know what, today I'm the one that's saying I'm not there, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm just saying to you that once you start really doing this, and when people talk about that you have to bring 50-50 in a relationship, it's not 50-50, bring 100%. And the only way you can bring 100% is really being selfish, basically, and really start focusing on yourself, your diet, the way you working out, reading books, getting yourself into uncomfortable situations in terms of the projects that you're doing, and whether it's the raise that you're looking for a job, go for it. Just get into those conversations that that you've been meaning to have. So maybe you wanted to get a salary increase, and really just walking into your boss and say, you know what, this is my worth to this company, can you give me a pay rise? Even if somebody says no, the boost that it gives to your mind and yourself, that you actually put yourself in that situation, is absolutely incredible. So I'm here to challenge you today, and I'm just to recap, you can work on your relationship by yourself without the other partner doing anything, and resolve your relationship and really be, at this moment in time, I can tell you I've never been this happy within my relationship, and it's absolutely incredible. And not just the sex, but just in general, like loving and miss her all the time, which is weird because we've hit over 10 years married, and for it to be still as an amazing, and when I'm not talking about just a honeymoon or a phase, but this has been consistently going on for a really long time now. So, and again, this can happen for you. So hopefully can take this as inspiration and motivation and start looking at ways of really resolving your relationship. And one of the first things that you need to focus on is you, and really looking after you. And when you start looking after yourself, you become irresistible for your partner. So my name is Corey, and I'll hopefully be seeing you guys soon. Take care.